Namaste. A warm welcome to all of you to the sixth video on Omkar or Pranava. I am very grateful to Dr. Meenakshi Ravi for giving me this opportunity, for inviting me to share this wonderful knowledge of Omkar given by the Upanishads on Nada Arogya channel. In this video, we are going to explore the last part of Omkar, the silent part, which is called Amatra, that which is not measurable. Amatra is a measurable unit of time. Amatra is the time it takes for your hand to rotate around the knee and then click your fingers. That is one matra. The time taken to do that is defined as one matra. So, A is the first matra or syllable of Om. U is the second matra. Ma is the third matra. And the fourth and most important part of Om is the Amatra, that which has no measure, cannot be measured by time or space. How will you measure silence? Why are we even having a talk about silence? What is there to say about silence? These may be questions that we ask. So, I would like to begin with a true incident which happened in the life of Sri Ramana Maharshi, a great sage who lived in the last century in Tiruvannamalai, where there is a sacred hill Arunachala. Many of you may have gone there. You may have done a pradakshina around the hill. You may have gone to the Ramanashram, which is vibrant still with his presence. And this is an incident from the life of this great sage who was an enlightened being. Now, Ramana Maharshi used to sit in silence a good part of the time. He taught disciples, he spoke, he also sat in silence. And people around him would also be silent and they would meditate in his presence, because his presence was extremely potent, always exuding peace, tranquility, because he was anchored in his true nature of Sat Chit Ananda, existence, consciousness, bliss. So he was always aware of his true nature. Because of that, anybody who came into his presence would also feel the same peace, which was their true nature. So there was a British traveler called Paul Brunton. Many of you may have read books which he has authored. In one of the books, he has written about Ramana Maharshi. Reading this, many foreigners from different countries came to the presence of Sri Ramana Maharshi. So Paul Brunton, who came all the way from England because he wanted self-knowledge, he went and met so many different masters all over India. And he heard about Ramana Maharshi in Tiruvannamalai, a small, hardly a village, a very small town. In those days, he had to travel by train, make a long journey by train to come there. So as he was coming by train, he took out a notebook and he started listing out questions. He said, I'm going to meet this great master. I don't want to miss an opportunity. So whatever spiritual questions I have, I will list them out so that I don't forget to ask. I get clarifications for all of them. So he sat, he made a very long list of questions. He came to Tiruvannamalai. He went to the ashram, he went to Ramana ashram. And when he went into the meditation hall where the Maharshi was sitting and there were devotees around him, at that time, Sri Ramana was in a state of meditation. His eyes were wide open, but he was looking fixedly somewhere and he was very still. He was meditating. So Paul Brunton, another man had brought Paul Brunton to the ashram. So Paul Brunton went and sat near Ramana Maharshi and waiting for him to come out of the meditation so that he could ask him all those questions. So he's sitting there 10 minutes, 15 minutes, half an hour. Initially, he is impatient. How long? How much longer do I have to wait for this master to come out of his meditation? When can I ask my questions? His mind is boiling. He's impatient. He's restless. 1 hour. Slowly, without his own knowledge, his mind is becoming quiet. His mind is becoming calm. He closes his eyes. Slowly, his mind sinks into thoughtlessness. Completely thoughtless, no thoughts. Finally, he does not know when Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi moves and he looks at Paul Brunton and he asks an interpreter to tell Paul Brunton to ask him what he wants. And Paul Brunton says, there were no questions left in my mind. I had such a long list of questions. But after the deep silence, after bathing in that peace and tranquility, after basking in the presence of the Master, all my questions were dissolved. All that was left was silence. All that was left was peace. Such is the power of silence. And silence is always there. Silence is the witness state. The witness who is quiet, but who is aware of everything that is happening. Whether you're awake or asleep or dreaming, this witness is always there, and the witness is unaffected. Just like in my dream, if I fall into a lake and I get drenched, when I come out, I'm fully wet, soaking wet and dripping. But I, the sleeper who is sleeping on the bed and dreaming that I am wet, is that clothes of the person who is sleeping on the bed, are they wet? No matter what happens in the dream, the person sleeping on the bed is unaffected. In the same way, the Upanishads tell us, this witness who is ever present, who is called the Turiya, who is called Sakshi, who is called Atman, who is called Brahman. This witness, this Sakshi, the self, is ever present, ever blissful, ever peaceful, and never affected by anything that happens to the body, mind, or intellect. Anything that happens in the waking state, anything that happens in the dream state. Nothing can disturb this witness. This witness is constant. If we have gone to a concert, or if we are musicians ourselves, when we sing, what is the most important thing? It is the Shruti, which holds the frequency for us. So the Tanpura in classical music, Indian classical music, that is constantly playing. Throughout the concert, Tanpura is playing constantly. The song begins and the song ends. The instruments, other instruments begin and end, but the Tanpura continues throughout. It is the substratum of the entire concert, the most important part of the entire concert. But it is also the easiest part to ignore, isn't it? So in the same way, the sages are telling us this silence, this awareness, this witness, it is like a movie screen. If you have gone to a theater to watch a film, you watch one film in the morning show, afternoon there is some other film, evening there may be some other film, 1 week later all the films will change. The heroine dances, the hero weeps, oceans come, fires happen. Does the screen get burnt? Does the screen get drenched? Does the screen feel happy? Does the screen feel sad? Nothing happens to the screen. It is a substratum of every film. It is always there, never affected, the permanent factor, and the films keep changing. So, in the same way, Vedanta says, this deep silence, the deep peace, awareness, which is ever present, is like the movie screen in your life. So many dramas are enacted on the screen. I think I'm the body, so I think I'm fat or I'm thin. I think I'm in pain. I think I'm well. I think I'm joyful when I'm the mind. I think I'm angry. I think I'm so crystal clear about everything. I think I'm so confused. All these dramas, all the things that happen to me in my life is like a film that keeps on getting enacted in this, over this substratum of awareness which is never affected. So Vedanta says, identify with the substratum, identify with the witness, identify with awareness, identify with your true self, and you will be ever blissful, ever peaceful. Identify with the body, mind, and intellect, you will always be miserable, because nothing is permanent. Nothing that happens to the body, mind, and intellect, nothing that happens in this world, jagat, we say. Jagat means that which comes and goes. It can never be permanent. It comes and goes. That is the name of the world. So if you want permanent peace, you want permanent happiness, you want to be unaffected, your life will go on, but you will be in bliss always. If you want to be like that, like a drop of water on a lotus leaf, there and yet not there. If you want to be like that, Then, whenever you chant Om and you come to the part after M, the silent part, just be. That is your true state. So, the Amatra is not a sound. It is not even a vibration. It is just being, pure being. And it is easy to get every time you chant Om at the end of Omkar is your true nature, bliss, peace, the immeasurable, the indefinable, the indescribable. But your true nature, the permanent part of you, the substratum, that which is always there, that which never dies, that which is never born. So when you chant Om, and then after the Ma fades into silence, the Upanishad says, just be. Just be. Because that is who you are. So, the meditator, the seeker, who chants Om, and then he just is at the end of the chant in the Amatra. When he does this with devotion, with dedication, following a dharmic life, the Upanishad says, you will be liberated forever from this false identity that I am this body, mind, and intellect. Then all your diseases cannot trouble you. All the tribulations that come in life cannot trouble you. You will never be insecure. You will never be afraid. You will never be depressed because you are peace. You are bliss. So let us chant Om 3 times. At the end of the Om, let us remember to just be in the silent part, the most important part of the Omkar, the most healing part. It heals body, mind, and intellect, and it takes you beyond this identity to your true nature. So let's sit with our spine straight, eyes lightly closed. Become aware of your breathing. As you're aware of your breath, feel your mind becoming quieter and quieter. The breath is ever changing, but the one who is aware of the breath, the one who is witnessing the breath, never changes. Inhale deeply. Om. Om. Oh. You are the silent witness who is ever present. You are bliss. You are peace. You are one with all beings. You are the substratum of creation, of existence. When you sit for meditation, whenever a thought comes into your mind, if you chant Om, it takes you to silence. Then just be. If another thought comes up anytime, chant Om again. It takes you to silence. Again, just be. This is a very powerful way of meditating. You can do it as long as you like, whenever you like. At the end of every meditation, pray for the well-being of everybody by chanting Lokaha Samastaha Sukhino Bhavantu, or by just saying may all beings be happy. Slowly open your eyes. Thank you so much. May the vibrations of Omkar, may self-knowledge unfold in each and every one of us through the blessings of the great ones. May all beings be happy. Thank you so much.